Hi, it's Martha. I have some middle grade books to talk to you about today, books I've read recently and really enjoyed. The first one I would say is on the younger side, maybe for 7 to 10 is the probable audience. And this is called Book Uncle and Me by Uma Krishnaswami. It's set in India in a friendly neighborhood where a retired teacher has set up a wonderful lending library, and the neighbors come and can borrow a book and read it and bring it back and then borrow another one. And 9-year-old Yasmin is one of his best customers. She comes almost every day and loves going to see Book Uncle and getting a new book. And she finds out that the mayor of the city wants to tear down the rickety little book stand and put something else at that location. And she manages with her friends and family and the neighborhood to get a neighborhood campaign together to save Book Uncle's book stand. So a wonderful story of early community activism and of friendship and loyalty and of course of the love of books. Book Uncle and Me, I really enjoyed it. The next one is a biography, The Eagle Huntress, the true story of the girl who soared beyond expectations. And this is about a teenage girl in Mongolia. You might remember that this was a movie a couple of years ago based on her story. This is the girl, Aisholpan, and this is her story told by her to a writer who helped her, and is the story of how her family was a long line of eagle hunters, which is a thousands-year-old tradition in Mongolia where men train eagles from a very young age to hunt for them and bring prey back, like foxes and rabbits, little rodents that the eagles can catch. And of course, girls or women never do this. It's always been a male craft. And Aisholpan is good at it and becomes interested in it with her father. And this is the true story of how she became a prize-winning, a contest-winning eagle huntress. Her eagle was the best eagle of the year in their big community festival. And so it's a wonderful story of life in Mongolia, of this young woman who is so intense about her eagle training and the relationship that she has with her eagle. It's got wonderful photos of Aisholpan and her family and their life, and also talks about how their lives have changed since she was discovered by the filmmaker, and the film about her won awards, and then of course now there's this book which she has written. So Eagle Huntress, very interesting look at a young woman, a young girl pursuing her dreams, even though culturally and societally girls did not normally do what she became good at. So I really liked it. The next one is called The World's Greatest Detective, and this is by Carlson. And this is funny, a very funny adventure. 11-year-old Toby has been passed from relative to relative ever since the disappearance and presumed death of his parents at the age of 8. And he disappointed them all. All of his relatives have been not very nice to him. And he's now living with the final relative. His uncle, Gabriel, who is a detective, has taken him in, and he sees it, and the relatives have told him that this is his last chance. So he feels very insecure and feels that he needs to win Uncle Gabriel's affection and approval. And so he tries as hard as he can to be the perfect nephew and the perfect detective's assistant in Uncle Gabriel's detective agency. And a famous detective has announced his impending retirement, and he's invited all the local detectives to come to a big house party at his mansion and to solve a puzzle, and the winner will become the new most famous detective and win a big monetary prize. And Uncle Gabriel is not interested in this at all, but Toby decides to enter the contest behind his uncle's back and try to win it, thinking that he'll win Uncle Gabriel's approval in that way. And the puzzle solving weekend, which is supposed to be a big game, turns into a real life murder mystery that Toby tries to solve. So a very interesting and surprising, very interesting story of detection and methods and the different detectives trying to figure things out. A really good adventure. I enjoyed it. The World's Greatest Detective. This one is called Tin by Padraig Kelly, and this is a very imaginative science fiction adventure about a world, 1930s England, but an alternate England where mechanical children are common and people use robots as servants, and the engineer who is the main engineer of this story, has kind of broken the law by having mechanical creatures that are not approved by the government. And Christopher is a young boy who is the engineer's assistant. And the mechanical children in the warehouse where he works are his best friends and really his family. And they are completely lifelike. They have emotions and loyalty and love and are just tremendous characters. And Christopher is abducted by a rival engineer with evil intentions. And the other mechanical children, his family and friends, come to try to rescue him. So very, very gripping story, also quite funny in many parts, but also poignant because the children's are looking for home and family, and it has a lot going on. It's a wonderfully rich story. I really recommend it. Tin. Maybe for the slightly older crowd, let's say 9 to 14. The last one is The Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier. And The Night Gardener is creepy. 2 orphaned siblings who have escaped from the Irish potato famine come to England to find work, and they find work as servants in this creepy, crumbling English mansion with this incredibly macabre and spooky tree that seems to tower over the property. And there's something desperately wrong in the house, something wrong with the inhabitants. The family is kind of getting sick. And the brother and sister decide that they need to find out what is happening in this house. What is this tree all about? And why are the inhabitants getting sicker and sicker? So a fun ghost story, quite spooky. Parts are funny, but it is strangely menacing and creepy and perfect for this time of year. So those are the books I have to recommend. I hope you think some of them sound good. And remember, we still have curbside service, so be sure to request any of those books that you want to read. Okay, see you later. Keep reading.